Because posture is memory, it's something that we get from the feedback on our joints and our muscles of how we stand and hold ourselves without even thinking about it. So in order to change posture, it means that we have to constantly remind ourselves of how we have to move and how we stand. So a checklist is useful. So I tend to start with the knees. So if you go down to the knees and you think, right, are my knees locked out? Because often they'll really lock out or extend in this position. So if you can't straighten your knees anymore, often they're in that position. So soften your knees slightly. When your knees soften, move up to your pelvis and see where your pelvis is positioned. Can you stack it underneath your rib cage? So like you'd stack a wall of bricks, you'd stack them all on top of each other. You stack it underneath your rib cage, and now we have to look at your pelvis, because as the tummy muscles have lengthened, we often arch our chest back and tilt our pelvis forward. So if you imagine a tiny ribbon attached to your pubic bone, the same to your breastbone, draw that imaginary ribbon together in the middle of your tummy and tie a little bow, and you'll see that that softens the curve in our back and means that there's less pressure. Coming up to your shoulders, if you feel that you're rounded forwards at your shoulders, just roll the shoulders back. Often we'll tilt our chest backwards completely, which isn't very helpful. So instead, rolling the shoulders back, moving up to your head, and if your chin is poking forward, draw it back so the back of your neck is long and tall. At times it can be useful if you're standing in a long queue to actually physically hold or support your bump if it's difficult to maintain this posture. A useful thing to do is to work the deep tummy or activate your deep tummy muscle. It's a feeling like you're trying to hug or draw your baby close to your belly, and that creates a little hammock or support for your baby as it's growing and as you're standing day to day.